This video is for the woman that tried the support and still feels depleted. Yes, this one is for you. In the last video, we talked about overwhelm and how support can be used to stabilize it. But today is different. Before we go further, one important note. If what you're experiencing includes persistent anxiety, depression, brain fog, sleep deprivation, or any physical symptoms that don't improve, seeking medical or professional care is not a failure of faith or strength. It's a part of responsible care. Burnout isn't just tiredness. It's not you are having a bad week. You are just being busy. Burnout is what happens when your system has been overextended for a long period of time without restoration, acknowledgement, or relief. You wake up already tired. Rest doesn't refresh you. You feel strangely detached from the things that you used to really care about. Small decisions feel heavy. You're functioning, but you're flat, sort of numb. You get irritable over nothing. You feel guilty afterwards. You fantasize about disappearing off to some quiet, secluded space, maybe a mountain, maybe a cabin or an island. If that feels familiar to you, then you're no longer in an overwhelmed state. This is a capacity injury, and your system is asking for a reset. Support helps alleviate overwhelm because it's about managing a load. Burnout, on the other hand, is about managing loss. Loss of energy, loss of meaning and connectivity, maybe even loss of internal safety. Maybe you're now an empty nester and your children have all grown up and left the home. You finally received that promotion you've really been working on for a long time. Or maybe you just ended a very toxic situation and you thought you'd feel relief once you reached that point, but instead you feel nothing. Burnout doesn't care about the fact that your crisis is over. The emptiness you're feeling right now is about response to years of chronic strain and neglect. And something we don't say out loud, maybe enough, is while you were holding it all together, your body was in a survival state, running on pure adrenaline, willpower, and belief that the relief was going to come at some point in time. But when the external pressure finally did lift and you were supposed to feel this freeness and relief, it was your body who was finally feeling free enough and safe enough to actually show you the truth that you've been empty for a long time. You wouldn't believe it, but burnout shows up after things get better. And because all of these things are good changes, family going off to start their lives, promotion, etc., because you're supposed to be happy now, you don't actually permit yourself to accept and grieve what it cost you to get there. You don't grieve the years you pushed past your capacity. You don't grieve the parts of you that went quiet just to survive. You don't grieve the version of you that carried everyone else, but no one carried you. That unacknowledged grief is one of the sneaky and quiet drivers of burnout. And here's a part I do not want you to miss. Many of us do not recognize this. If you try to push through burnout the same way you push through survival, you will not heal. You will harden. And that's why this reset looks different. We believe that hardship is never meant to be endless. Surely with the difficulty comes the ease. Human beings are not designed to move from crisis straight back into productivity. There are pauses and mercy woven into endurance. There's a necessary in between. Think of it as a God-given recalibration. And burnout isn't a spiritual failure, just in case you were thinking it. It's often a sign that you honored responsibility longer than your body could handle it alone. A burnout reset is not a makeover. It's not a reinvention. And it's definitely not a productivity upgrade. A reset is a reduction in the demands on your life and a restoration of capacity. So what does that look like? Lower the baseline. Fewer expectations, less output, more margin. It looks like restoring before redeciding. So no major life choices again, no identity conclusions, no what's wrong with me spirals, none of that. And it also looks like rebuilding from truth and not guilt. So what's sustainable for me right now? What season am I actually in right now? What is your body signaling and not what your ego wants? This is important because burnout distorts perception. Everything feels heavier. Everything feels more permanent than it really is. And you don't need to seek answers right now. You just need restoration first. If support didn't touch what you were experiencing, it doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It means you've crossed into burnout. And burnout is not the end of your capacity. It's a signal that you probably need to rebuild it differently. What I need you to focus on is stabilize, restore, then re-enter. Take a look at this playlist here. It has all of the burnout and overwhelm videos. Move through them at your own pace. God willing, I'll see you there.